Okay, so on this example, we basically have two different companies we can choose from as far as cost-wise. And what we're going to do is we're going to set up two different equations. So company A will have kind of the, from this statement, we will have a cost for plan A. Well, what is it? What is the cost for group A? Well, that's just a blanket $117. Done, right? What is our cost for plan B? And this follows one of the models that we had earlier, right? So it's $75 plus it's what? But it's not just 70 cents, it's 70 cents per. So I do that times M. There we go. So what we're going to do is they want to know, when does company A charge less than company B? So that right there, that less than, tells me we are dealing with a inequality. What we want to do is, when is the cost for A less than the cost for B? Well, what do? I set these two kind of equal to each other, right? So I set the 117 to the 75 plus 0.7 m. Now, if I wanted to figure out when are they the same cost, that's when they're equal. But that's not what they said. They said, when is company A less than? Which is why I'm not solving an equation, I'm solving an inequality. When is A less than B? Does that make sense? So how would we solve this? Step one. Any ideas? Yeah, this is just an inverse operation. There are not multiple variables, just the m by itself. So PEMDAS backwards. So is there any adding and subtracting? We undo the which number? The 75, because the 0.7 is multiplying, right? I know it looks like plus, but that's being multiplied to the m. So really the 75 is what's being added. So that's what we subtract away. If I do it to one side. So what are we left with there? I think is that 42 is less than 0.7 m. And how would we solve for m now? Undo that multiplying by dividing, I heard. So that, I'll wait for it. Is it 60? Is less than m. What does that mean? When should I choose company A? When the miles are what? Not under 60, because that's not what this says. It says when 60 is less than the miles. This is where that weird thing, sometimes the m ends up on the right side, right? This says the same thing as what? When the miles are 60. So we should choose company A if we need to drive more than 60 miles. You can expect something like this on the next test, which is still a ways away, so don't stress out about it. Okay? I want to make sure we cover the material so you have time to process it, work through the pie, work through the assignments, get those things clarified. Okay? And one more example, and we got this sucker done. I'm so excited. I apparently am the only one excited, but that's all right. That's all right. Handle that. See, this one's a little different, but it's very similar. Okay? We have two phone companies. Plan A, you pay a fee. So there's your, we labeled that as initial fee, plus a cost per minute, plus a rate, right? But then the second one has another initial fee, plus another cost per minute. So this one's a little different because we don't just have like a blanket unlimited number of minutes, right? So let's start with company A, or plan A. What's their cost model? What's the cost for company A? No matter what I do, I spend $26.80 just for the benefit of saying I can use plan A. Whether I use any minutes at all, I'm spending $26.80, right? Plus, how much? Now don't put, we had this discussion yesterday, don't put 6M for minutes. You're not spending $6 a minute, right? That would be terrifying. We are spending what? There you go. No international calls here. We're keeping it low key. Okay? So that's the cost for A. What is the cost for plan B? Well, that seems simpler. We got a $25 fee, but I spend what? The wording on this is weird. The wording on this is weird. I don't know why I was going to say that, but the wording on this is weird in the sense of for what amounts will plan A not cost more than plan B? What the heck are they asking for? When will one not cost more than the other? When they are? Yeah, it's a really stupid way of saying where will they be equal? Could we solve that? Yeah, we would set them what? We would figure out when does the cost of A equal the cost of, and then we could fill in the formulas we figured out, which was what? What is the formula for the cost of A? And when will that equal? Now, I know a lot of people are multiplying these by 100 to get rid of the decimals. I, once again, argue if you got a calculator, I'm not going to worry about it. I would isolate the variable. I can handle the decimals. Calculator will keep track of that. It's your choice. Okay? So if I am solving this just the way it is, okay, how do I solve for M? I got two M's, right? What can I do? Yeah, because they're not on the same side. Don't add those together. That's utter nonsense, right? We have to subtract one of them and move it over. Which one? Probably the smaller of them. Makes sense. So that makes this zero out. So I'm left with 26.8 is equal to 25 plus 2 more steps. What's the PEMDAS backwards going to look like on this one? That should leave us, I think, with 1.8. And then last, to undo the multiplying. So what is our M? $100 what? I think I got 180, is that right? If you, like I said, if you're not liking this, multiply it all by 100 so you don't have to deal with the decimals. Yeah, be careful with that. So, and that's equal to M, or we could say M is equal to 180. This is the amount of minutes where the two plans are equal, right? Now be careful because it said something about an inequality up there, so I'm going to go back up to the question. But if I ask when are they equal, you set them equal, okay? I'm going to go back real quick because it says cost no more than. What are they? This is horrible. Yeah, what are they wanting here? No more than. We're not more than. I think what they're wanting to do is try to figure out where A is less than B. That's a really stupid way of asking it, I think. Okay? So I will try to steer away from phrases like that. If a phrase like that came up on the test, I would help clarify it because that's not the intent of the question. Okay? So we figured out where they're equal. They're equal when at 180 minutes. How would I figure out when they're less than? Well, instead of equal, down here, I would have changed this to a what? An A less than, right? And going down, Less than, less than. So when is plan A better? What does this say? So when 180, where'd my pen go? Sorry, when 180 is less than the minutes, then we like plan A. Or when M is what? Both of these say the same thing. So what you would do though, and I think can't remember exactly on the quiz or not, I think in the homework they do this, but you would have to actually choose or write or choose the one where it says what we would say. We would plan A is less than plan B when we use more than what? When we use what? Both of those say when we use more than 180 minutes. At 180, they're the same. You might as well, flip a coin. They're both the same. But if you're like, I think I'm going to use less than 180, then I should be using plan B. If I think I'm using more than 180, I should be using plan A. Does that make sense? So this is just a matter of consuming. I don't think this is a huge stretch beyond what we did yesterday, and I tried to hone you in on what we're going to see with the different setups of the equations. Does that make sense? Okay, so that's it. You've now seen everything that's going to be on your next quiz. We've covered all the topics. Okay, so that means we're testing on this tomorrow, right? No, don't freak out, guys. Look at your calendar, see when it's due, okay? We have time to process this. I have a couple days where we've done heavy notes, not so I could be a bully and pick on you. I did it so that we can now have time to process it. Does that make sense? Okay.